Since 2015, with the American NGO Vital Voices, I've had the honor of supporting business women from all over the world as a marketing and sales coach, an enriching experience that has taught me that everything in life has a purpose and that there is no cause that is not worth fighting for. These remarkable women work tirelessly for a noble mission to leave this world a little better. These are their inspiring stories. Today, Louise Lonergan, CEO of Lonergan Group in Ireland. The Republic of Ireland is an island separated from the United Kingdom by the Irish Sea. Its official languages are English and Irish, and through the blood of its 5 million inhabitants runs an ancient history. With its medieval castles, towering cliffs, famous whiskey, and legendary Celtic music, Ireland is a magical country. Well, today I have a very special guest, my friend Louise Lonergan. Louise is the CEO of Lonergan Group. She specializes in strategic gifting. She is in Ireland, in the beautiful and magical and mystical Ireland. So welcome, Louise.
Hi, David. How are you? Hello, everybody. I'm delighted to be here with you today.
I'm so happy of having you here. Thank you so much for your time.
And as usual, I'm thinking about sunshine when I'm talking to you and thinking of all the lovely warm climates over there.
Yeah. Louise, specifically, what is strategic gifting?
Well, strategic gifting is giving your customer exactly what they need. So we talk directly to our customers. We figure out what their problems are, what are they trying to do or achieve, and why are they doing it? What kind of budget that they have in place, and then we will send recommendations to them and recommend times that they do it. We're always about, David, trying to get the customer as much longevity as possible. So they're being very kind and very considerate, giving a budget to these things. And we find that we feel that it's our job to get them as much longevity in their customers and staff's mind afterwards.
Mm-hmm. Actually, some of the items you provide to your customers are promotional gifts and bespoke hampers and so on. Is that a way just to give it in some sense that is not only a gift, but also it is behind just supporting a strategy for the business, something that they can really use in terms of employees, customers, and different audiences? So when you mean strategic, it's not only giving away some gift, but why are you just giving it? What's behind that, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a vehicle. It's to communicate the message that the client wants to get across to their customer or staff. We're delivering messages, and there are two main audiences, David, is human resources. So they're looking after their staff, and it's a tactic, but it's a lovely tactic because staff are hardworking. They need to be engaged. Oh, look, in COVID, it's so difficult. Everybody is trying so hard to be motivated, engaged, work hard. Everybody's out of their comfort zone. So more now than ever, people need to reach out and engage and reward and thank their staff, and the exact same thing really is the same for their loyal customers. Sales reps can't call to their customers anymore. Definitely they would have been brought to lunches and lovely events and things like that. And I mean, it's very, very expensive when you lose a customer, and it's very difficult to find new customers, especially at the moment. So giving loyalty and thanks and gratitude is so important, and it's so well received. And that's the message generally. There may be environmental angles, or there might be a wellness drive, or there might be other things that we need to consider. But generally, it's an act of thanks or engagement.
Yeah, and actually, you say that you started strategic gifting since 1998, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah. I
it
hope I don't look that. I hope I don't look like that.
it happens a lot that when we start our businesses, we have one idea in mind, but throughout the years, we need to adjust our company and strategy and the markets we are attending. Throughout these years, what have been the main just adjustments or changes that you have seen within your own business?
Well, I think technology is interrupting everything in a good way and in a bad way. So technology, like when I started out at 20, I was 23 years of age, and I drove around in my car, calling into customers. Now we have things called websites and email. Like I'd stop on the side of the road. We had only just got mobile phones, and I'd be ringing in orders to customers. So everything is so much better from a technology point of view. But David, the idea that small businesses don't diversify or change, I mean, I think that message has to come loud and clear. From our point of view, we started with corporate gifting, then we brought in promotional products, and it's kind of, you want to become a one-stop shop for your customers one way or another, because if they're happy with you and they're loyal, of course you want to continue offering what they need and what they want. And if you're lucky enough that they want to do more business with you, sure, isn't that wonderful? So diversification and being agile and being able to move fast is something that I think it's absolutely imperative for small businesses.
Yeah, and I think it applies to all of us, just diversification and just looking for new ways, especially during these times. One of the things you were mentioning, Louise, is that one of your major customer segments, let's say that way, is HR departments. And you help them for recognition initiatives, programs, and different things. How do you specifically help those departments to just boost employee morale? And why is that so important? Because I think that's a huge opportunity for so many companies.
Yeah. So at the moment, if what you mean at the moment through COVID, I mean it's more or less the same thing. We began delivering service awards. I'm not sure if you would call them service awards or maybe anniversary awards. Basically, if somebody is 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, etc. in a business. And years ago, we used to basically handwrite people's addresses and fax them to our customers. Now we have a really cool e-commerce platform called getgifts.ie. I kind of knew the world was going this way. Again, GDPR is coming into effect. So one of the ways is that we deal with companies and they send their customers to this website, which we manage completely. They have password protected areas and they select a gift of their choice and it's delivered to the staff's home address. But also from induction point of view, especially at the moment, new staff are coming on. They've never met their colleagues in real life. They've probably never been into the building. They need a warm welcome. They need to feel, and we all know that when you induct a staff well, it's most likely they'll stay. So in everything that we do, and there's so much more to it. Obviously, there's awards and presentations. We do a lot of hampers at Christmas time. Care packs is absolutely massive at the moment. And again, they're for all different types of things. We've just done one for Google at the moment, and it's a celebrating pack. So to celebrate their staff from moving up to jobs and becoming managers, for example. And again, we know that it's so difficult for peer-to-peer learning because there's nobody sitting beside their colleague anymore asking the question and, you know, hearing things in the building. So we know that all of these things are necessary and they need to be done, and you need to look after your staff and engage with them and keep them, because somebody else said to me, it's so easy at the moment. They're all in front of their computers all the time for them to look for new jobs. So the culture has to be good in the company before we came into COVID, I think. But I do know a lot of companies are also finding it difficult to understand what does culture look like now. Would you use the word culture, David, where you were from?
Yes.
As in the glue in the company?
Yes. Actually,
So what does that glue look like after COVID, and what do they do at the moment when the lunches they gave, or the drinks on a Friday, and what do they do when those things don't exist anymore?
yeah. And actually, one thing that we have seen all over is that companies are really concerned about sales, basically, because
Yeah.
of course, a lot of companies are just struggling just to keep afloat, but sometimes are not that aware of their own teams and the need of this morale and just working together as a team and feel appreciated and just kind of you're kind of giving hope to every
Yeah.
team, right? Because during these
Yeah.
times, just we are just looking for something that really makes sense in that manner. So I think that
Yeah.
it's not only about just recognition prizes and so on, or contest or something. It's just keeping people on our side and just helping them just to move forward as we as a company also do that, right?
Yeah, and I think, David, in Ireland at the moment we're locked down, and I know you are as well. It means I don't see my work colleagues, and I miss them. And I think all this, the more that we can support each other through these very hard times, and obviously if we're having a bit of fun and we're talking, obviously we're going to work better, and we're going to know each other better, and we're going to be able to ask for help. A lot of the very big companies have all these initiatives in place that they peer-to-peer learning, they bring staff up, which is such a lovely thing to do. And yeah, so it's an interesting time. And in this environment, we're working very much with the companies to help them to engage with their staff whichever way that we can. And I'm sure that area will continue to grow, and I'm sure it'll continue to change, you know, that people will need different things.
Absolutely. I think there are a lot of opportunities that we need to be aware of, and basically at every area of our own businesses. Talking specifically, Louise, about the corporate gifting strategy and your business and what you do, the essence of what you sell is just basically corporate gifts that may be considered kind of a commodity because some other companies can just offer similar products. How
Yeah.
do you differentiate when when the products you sell might be similar to the products of other companies? What has been your differentiation strategy?
Well, we have to go the extra mile, so we have to give a lot more. So, like, we're just launching a brand new sales tactics at the moment, actually, and so we're going to deliver care packs on behalf of companies to staff and customers. But
Okay.
this time, we're going to have whiskey tumblers engraved with their customer's name and maybe their favorite whiskey, or we're going to have water bottles and picnic blankets and all different types of things. It's important to try and bring the family part in as well. So if you were receiving a gift, David, you'd probably like me to be considering the fact that you have a family. So I think personalization, we know that personalization can be all the difference. Like 500% is the actual statistic of how much more likely your customer is to be wowed. 500%. So we need to then package it beautifully. The tissue inside, the postcard, all has to be the company's branding, and the company has to be represented from the minute the box is opened.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I think it's kind of back to what we were saying earlier on, that it's the vehicle to communicate the message, and to find out, it's important to find out what message that the company wants to deliver. And then it's our job in Lonergan Group to figure out how we can help them achieve that, and to keep longevity so that your kids are playing with the game that we delivered for the company 6 months afterwards, and the company, people are still talking about, God, aren't they great that they delivered that to us? Look at the kids still playing the game. Or you're drinking from the wine glasses. The wine might be well gone, but you're still using the wine glasses.
Yeah. So personalization is one of the key elements for differentiation, right? And the way you do things that represents the personality of the brand, the image of the brand, and the values of the brand. And also, I suppose logistics play a huge role within this whole strategy, just getting to every person, every employee, and just getting it right, right? With the right product, this was the right name for the right person at the right time, which is not easy, right?
No, it's great fun. I have a great guy works in logistics here, heads up the team, and he's wonderful. So, and he keeps himself well versed. He's after looking after Brexit and COVID all in the 1 year, so he probably deserves a round of applause. But like I was saying earlier on, this is part of our culture. We realized a long time ago that our job is, David, to make everything for the customer as easy as possible. And if that means hand delivering all the gifts, which we have done in the past, if it means sending them all out with couriers. And we realized through COVID that some couriers were not doing very well, and some couriers were doing better. And because we've 23 years and we vet our suppliers so stringently, we were able to identify the better suppliers to send it with, that they had COVID at every thought, that the customers could track their orders. So so it is very important to know what needs to be done. But as I said to you earlier on, the handwritten thing, we've been doing it for 23 years, and it's great fun, the logistics. But it's we know that it's so important that we did a delivery for a company close to us here for 3,000 staff home addresses. Wow. And the overwhelming feedback was that the gift was great. But they loved getting something to their home address. Like, I don't know about you, David, but I'm sure your children and wife and you're all ordering home. And the panic and excitement, like everybody wants to run to the door when the courier gets there. So that's a huge part of it as well. I think the fun of what's in it and the surprise. And again, for a company recently, we've actually added in the confetti towers, that boom. So it's all about kind of definitely the end user's joy when they open the gift.
Absolutely. And I just want to emphasize that this is quite a challenging differentiator, but it really helps, and it's important for your customers, because I have seen, let's say that you want to have a meeting or to have a special celebration with your employees, online celebration, and the company sent to every employee, let's say a glass of something or a cupcake or whatever, and they are all together, and if someone doesn't or didn't get it, just wouldn't feel right? Just I don't have it, so excuse me, but I have nothing just to make the toast or something like that.
Well, we'd have a few tricks up our sleeve after this age. So we would have additional items. We always deliver out in advance to make sure that the goods are there. We would be, well aware of the delivery times and the pressure that we're being put on people. And Joe is absolutely, as I say, wonderful. That actual thing happened because these events are on and everybody needs their box at the same time, their care pack, and Joe hand delivered one. Actually, the customer forgot somebody rather than us not delivering it. So you just get in your car and you just go and you do it, because that's what you do. But the care packs are really cool, and we did loads for International Women's Day and for Easter and all types of things. And it's so lovely that you're going to an event, and it must feel more like an event, because you got your lovely box with your stuff in it, and then you get to listen to the lovely event.
Yes, and just small things make a huge difference, and sometimes they are overlooked. Like you were saying, personalization, for example. You need to have your name on something. It has to be your name, right? Yeah. And it has to be well spoken, or just not misspelled, right? Because
oh my goodness,
the experience. Yeah. And those little things, I believe, are those special elements that sometimes companies, and I see them as customers, for example, might not be aware that that's what 20 plus years of experience. Right.
Yeah, and I kind of think that we would have processes and procedures in place. So exactly like what you mentioned, what a nightmare, you get a gift and your name is spelled incorrectly. So we would have stringent procedures that for example, everything is proofed with our customers in advance. So things like that just never happen, because these things can go wrong if there's not enough procedures there in place. So the other thing as well is, I think that customers it's kind of a bit like when you join a gym, you're thinking about the bikini body that you want rather than actually all the hard work. So I think a lot of the times our customers don't understand, which is fair, which is fine. That's what we're here to do. But it's great to see the magic when it happens. And I suppose that's why we have such a huge retention base with our customers. We're so lucky that the customers keep coming back.
Yeah. And I think that's one of the things we usually talk a lot, which is letting your customers know what your difference is, and maybe know a little bit how the behind the scenes work, so they can value your job pretty much, and just letting them know that your expertise is precisely that. And because you need to manage a lot of things, basically, and you were talking, for example, the logistics, delivery, and even the vendors for the products or the gifts. You might manage a lot of vendors, right? This is a critical role because you depend on them for deliveries, of course, and for having the right item at the right price at the right moment, so on. How do you handle this process of selection of vendors, because you may have a lot of them for different things? And what are the key elements you consider when choosing a supplier?
It's kind of like a long dating process, I suppose. Typically, you would meet them at a trade show, or you'd have a referral from somebody that you would trust. Then you would talk to them about their ranges, what kind of value adds are they giving and are they bringing? Because in the end of the day, everything that they bring, I'm going to offer to my customer, and I want the experience to be better for my customer all the time. So have they extra technology that we can use to get the goods out faster, or have we got nice technology that can show the customer the branded item a bit faster, or in a 3D, or whatever the case may be? Can they do the job? So we would always put in a small test order to check. And obviously, if we're not happy with the test, they won't be getting it. That's the end of them as far as we're concerned, because our brand is with them, and absolutely our customers is. So we can't have anything going out incorrect. Now it's as I say, the process and procedures are quite rigorous. That we would be dealing with customers' Pantones, which is their absolute colors, the brand guidelines, and all those types of things. So all of those things are a given as far as I'm concerned. You'd have to have, I think it's very important that you always ask for a point of contact, because I think you need to train them nearly like a staff member. And I do say that we have a lot of subcontractors that are nearly like employees, because we use them and talk to them so often. So then they get used to what you would expect and what you're looking for and what you need. Because, David, there's always lastminute.coms. There's always something that comes in that is impossible to do, but you have to figure out how to do it, obviously. And it's great then, because you have a good relationship and they'll try their best to help you any way they can. So yeah, it's a bit hard at the start, but it's we've just actually, because of Brexit, we've been doing a lot of this at the moment. We've had to move to a lot of European suppliers. So and you know, you get used to dealing with suppliers, but you can do it, you can change. And we're having great success with the new supplier now that we're one of the new suppliers in Europe. So
yeah. Actually, working with these vendors just was a challenge, I suppose, especially during the pandemic. And actually, you developed a new product line for health and safety products, right? Those products that the entire world was demanding, and it put a lot of pressure on the supplies and so on. And how do you differentiate, and how are you working with this line with lots of competitors, because competition is fierce? I mean, it's challenging because many companies are just working on that. But how have you used your, let's say, strengths or experience with the previous product lines or business units to just differentiate within this new health and safety product line?
Well, I think you have to listen to the market, David, at all times. You have to be listening to the market. And I think, I wonder, I've never asked anybody else if they do this, but I think you can feel when the phone isn't ringing or when the emails are not coming, or, you know, talk to suppliers and customers, you can feel something's going on in the market. You have to listen to your customers. And we have a fantastic loyal customers for 23 years. And so we were predicting what customers would need, which, let's face it, wasn't too difficult during COVID-19. And quite fast after that, everybody started demanding hand sanitizers and masks and stuff. So we, after finding and vetting the suppliers and making sure we were happy with them, we started contacting our customers very, very quickly to tell them what we had. And it was kind of like one of them days you'll never forget, that there's customers crying on the end of phones looking for stuff to protect their staff and their customers. Like, nobody's ever seen anything. It's like, you know, God forgive me, the Twin Towers and the desperate things that you'll never forget, that the radio is on and it's like, oh my God, these are marks in history. And customers were so in dire straits. I mean, I'm talking about bus companies, train companies, people coming into people's shops, all types of factory settings. And they don't know if their customers come in, their staff can come in, are they safe? It's just so frightening. So it was it was my privilege to be able to help my customers. It was one of the things I enjoy. How can you say you enjoy something in this? But I was, you know, I'm so thankful for the 23 years of support I've gotten from my customers, and they never ask anything of me. And it was so great to be able to give back to them and to help as many of them as I could. And yeah, it was mad, but it was we got it done. And yeah, it was mad. Now what happens is it's a continual diversification. The price of masks has changed. Now there's plenty of masks around. So we have most of the time what we're doing is kitting health and safety kits for customers going back and for their staff going back. And we'll be looking into workwear in different areas of health and safety. So as I said earlier on, it's a continual change and upskill and movement with the marketplace and what it needs.
Yeah. So I think that you found a new way to help your customers, and your customers just they just noticed that they really could trust you. And because I think that many companies just offer a lot of things during good times, but with when tough times arrives, just not everyone is able or willing to help the customer. So I think that it was a great lesson, just letting your customers know that you are here for them, not only for the usual products that you were selling to them, which is obvious, but just let me find something you really need right now. And I'm that partner that trustworthy. So I think that it sent a message that really you care for them.
Yeah. Well, right? That's true. And I do. And as I say, it was a great privilege to be able to help them. And I'm glad it worked out so well.
So challenges sometimes give us the opportunity to show what we are made of. And I think that's the case. Because and also you serve lots of companies and different, let's say, departments or people, or your products within a company can be used in different ways. For example, we were talking about recognition for employees, for example, or for sales forces as contest, or sales contest, or something like that. Even for end consumers or clients, the clients of your clients. As a gift, as a promotional item, and so on. So how do you approach if, let's say, person or stakeholder within the company just to present a different approach or proposal, just trying to learn how to approach the same company with different proposals or strategies for different uses?
So I guess the first step is to decide who is your preferred customer. So in our case, we've mentioned human resource departments, also marketing and sales departments. Now, there's always going to be, like, health and safety obviously is a big one now, procurement. There's always going to be anomalies that aren't, absolutely bang on. But if you're talking to HR, as David, you have guided me so many times, and I'm so thankful for your amazing wisdom, that you need to listen to what their problem is. It's not really about me and my company and that we do this, that, and the other. It's kind of more about what the customer needs and how can we support the customer and go back to the customer with a solution. So in the human resource departments, it could be that there could be a high turnover of staff. They could have people not turning on their cameras on Zoom and their eyes glazing over. It could be all types of things. Wellness and switching off is a big problem at the moment with HR. If I'm talking to marketing and sales departments, obviously, as we have said now a few times, lunches, days out at the races, bringing them to a football event, all of these things are gone now, and they can't do it, the game of golf and all those kind of things. So we have to find other solutions for our customers that do want to look after their staff and do want to bring loyalty and thanks to the staff. So that's what I think that the main thing is, David, that you talk to the target audience the way, and there's no point me talking to a human resource department about selling stuff to or sending stuff to their customers. That's not their area. So it's important that you speak to them about what that is important to them.
Yeah, just have the right message for the right person for the right need, and just kind of customize that message, right? Louise, we're close to the end right now, and I would like to ask you, what has been the greatest lesson from this pandemic, business-wise?
I have definitely gained a lot of confidence, and that I was able to pivot my business. I was working with Vital Voices, which is where I met you, David, and there was so many wonderful things that I was exposed to. And when I got back, I started building a cloud-based business. I understood I needed a dashboard. I understood about remote working. So many of the things that I had learned, I started to put into practice. And it's like every change management, when you bring it to the staff, you get a lot of resistance. But I believed in myself, and the same with the pivot for the health and safety. I believed in myself and my team, and that we could do it, and we did do it, and it was fantastic. The power of your customers and the customers understanding that you will go out of your way and you will help them. I think that was a huge thing that was on my side. So I don't think it would have happened as easily if we didn't have the reputation that we have. So I think your reputation and having that loyal base behind me was obviously amazing. But also just to really enjoy working with your team, working with your customers. I don't think I've ever enjoyed working as much, because it's nearly like a social event as well. And I think we're all really enjoying each other more and understanding, like we're all getting time with our families that we wouldn't normally have. I think the stresses on life that we would have typically had as well, trying to get from A to B, and have you got the money for the car parking, and all these things as well have been taken away. So I think this balance, this new hybrid model, whatever that ends up looking like, is a welcome change. And I think you spoke about it earlier on, David, about, you always have to look for different ways. Like, I'm a big believer that there's always a back door, there's always a plan B, there's always a different way of doing things. And if COVID has taught us anything, it's that just because we were doing it one way didn't mean that that was actually the right way. Or so it's very interesting for your mind to think that, and exciting, because you can see that there's always other opportunities and other ways of doing things.
Yeah, there are a lot of opportunities, certainly. Trusting yourself, self-confidence, and strengthening the relationship with your customers, that's what challenges help us do. So It is great. Louise, where people can know more about Lonergan Group and what you do and what you offer?
Well, our main website is lcgifts.ie, which is like Lonergan Corporate Gifts, lcgifts.ie. I think you might add some of the socials as well. David, did you say you might do that? Thank you very much. I'd love to engage with as many of you as I could. And if there's any way I can help out, I might have a few little bits of wisdom that I can help with. So please like our social medias and say hello to me. I'd be delighted to talk to you. And thank you very much, David, as always. You're so good.
I would like people to know a little bit more about Ireland, right?
Oh, yeah.
What do you love the most from your country? Just for us to get a sense of that beautiful island.
Well, Ireland is a very small country that a lot of people don't know exists. We're on the other side of England, and we're nothing to do with the English people. We're our own people. We love a good story. We love great crack is what we call it, CRAIC, which is a great crack. We love a drink. We love fun. We love dancing. So we call it a hoolie over here. So we love letting loose and just laughing and having fun and a sing and a dance. And I think the people that do know us for our hospitality. So please come over and see some of our hospitality, and you'll have a great holiday. You'll have lots of fun. That is for sure.
It's lovely. I love it. I mean, I love the castles. I love the Celtic music, and especially the beer. I love the beer.
Yeah, good for you.
Wonderful beer in Ireland.
They probably know about the Guinness, yeah, but we're good for whiskies as well and gins. And look, we have a drink for everybody.
You can come.
Well, listen, hopefully I'll get over to your side of the world soon as well.
Yeah.
I know you have a lot to offer there too.
Louise, thank you so much again for your time, for sharing your experiences with us. Have a great day.
It's my pleasure. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you, David, very much.
Thank you.
Bye.